here. How you doing? Pino, I see, is here, and Van Bishop may be here as well. Good to have you guys. We're going to continue from where we left off last week. Really enjoying this. I hope you are too. And Grey Knight's here. Very good. And Smaginus? Sorry, I'm messing up. And Jaculius is here. Hello. And Sadhaner. Sorry if I'm butchering your names. Okay. Last week I thought we had marched across here, but hey, thanks for being a subscriber here. And I thought we hadn't taken it because the color is the same or similar to over here, but really it's in Nabatean hands. Hopefully we'll get that back. They'll decide to give it to us. They've done really well out of our support, and we're going. Oh, Lancer's here as well already. Very good to have you. Okay, so hope you're all doing well. Now, this is still in Antigonid's hands. Okay, so Seleucid is pushed in through here. Been reading a little bit more about the wars of the Diadochi recently, just because of this. They are fascinating to me, and we'll be talking some more about that. Okay, I'm trying to just look before we hit the next turn. Oh, I want to look sort of province by province, or yeah, not region by region. Okay, Hebe, I don't know. So they got enough money, or not enough money, enough food. So I think we'll go with this. Only seems to have dates. Don't know if we'll get better. Let's see if we were to. Hey, thank you so much for Oakenshield. Good to have your hair. And Unknown is here. Okay, well, that's not really helping that much. Looking at mostly this, not that more infrastructure workers isn't good, but looking at the food. Okay, back to sort of provincial level. Oh, these guys, they could be building something. Okay, yep, crafter district, sort of my standard go-to. We'll shift more over there. Now that gets it all the way down to 10. Down to 7 turns. Okay. So we've got that. Still besieging up here. They're going to move this way. We're sending reinforcements over to here. Oh, what is our... Okay, that's looking good. And what are we doing way out here? Okay, we're building a palisade. And we don't need to look at that. That's just a slaughter. Okay, well, we might as well check this one out since it's smaller close. Okay, they're just coming at one archer. Maybe a good archer unit, but our local defense militia will take care of them. Well, we're currently at 26, so we're not doing too bad for culture versus decadence rating. New decision available. Emergency levy. Receive extra troops from capital. Okay. Yes. Yeah, we've Things not going well there. We may just... Okay, the Seleucids taken over there, which has pushed us out of here. Well, we'll go through this. The regions. 6. Okay, so they only have one slot left. When did we get new? Next, one more turn for another population, which will probably allow us to expand. I'm going to shuffle anyways. I don't know that I want brickworkers. Playing at being a pharaoh again. Yeah, hi Pixel. Nah. The Ptolemies did call themselves pharaohs in Egypt. I think of it more as trying to have a Greek Renaissance. Yeah, we'll shuffle that. Palisades out here, good. No, we'll take a anchorage. Wheelmaker, good. That will help us out with infrastructure. Trading require. Will be imported. Food. We're going to come back to that. Hellenistic God King, yes, that would be appropriate for the people in the time. I was recently reading about women's status in the Hellenistic period. Probably the best place for that, they were saying in the article, was in Egypt, because generally women's status were rather okay. But the Ptolemaic government was giving various tax benefits of one sort or another, I don't know exactly what they were, to Macedonian Greeks that married Egyptian women. So their value, shall we say, was considerably improved by that. We definitely know that in Alexandria, we're getting an emergency levy here, becomes very much a Greek city, but it's, I would say, for a good portion of its time, it is a majority Greek city, but even with that, it is still a multicultural city. But there are, in the Delta and further inland up the river, there are multiple Macedonian sort of colony sites in which the Macedonian warriors are given land to settle there. And they were given various tax bonuses if they married Egyptian women. And you got to sort of understand some of the what and whys for this. The real, to the time period, the real troops that really mattered, or the only troops that really mattered, were the phalanx, the phalangites. They were the sort of super weapon until the legion comes about. You might think something like elephants might be, and elephants were very potent on the battlefield, but they were a double-edged sword. If they got, I don't know, we can call it spooked, or got somehow, let's see if we can shift some labor over to there, reduce that, and just keep plenty of food coming in. If they got wounded, whatever, they could do as much or more damage to their own side. And one of the last sort of phalanx versus Roman battles, the phalanx Greek army was retreating, and the Romans, the phalanxes can be looked at, though it can also be very offensive, can be looked at as a supreme defensive weapon. So I know we're sort of going around along on this. But they had formed a big, huge square. And then had all the baggage and support elements along with good portion. This is sort of after the main sort of battle had been lost by the non-Roman forces. I forget who it was. This was much later than this period in time. And they were trying to retreat back to a city, if I remember correctly, that they held, and moving as a huge square with the elephants in the center. Well, using missile weapons, the Romans were able to spook the elephants enough that they went wild and broke out of the square, losing the cohesion of the square, and then they get lost. So we can look at some of these other sort of, catapults and ballistas and whatnot and big elephants, but really what really mattered was the phalanx. Now, which we are still in, even though that this has sort of gone off the rails a little bit, we're still in the Wars of the Diadochi here. So, most of the phalanx soldiers don't necessarily have a strong attachment to who they're following at the upper level. Again, from my/our general understanding, I think it was more loyalty to small units, smaller captains, smaller cohesive stuff. It wasn't like the individual mercenary taking up arms with whoever, but it was sort of smaller units, and they were often loyal to what in a modern sense we might think of as a colonel or something like that. And they wanted to have, they were supporting the various leaders partially on a success basis, and to some degree on an overall success basis, and some degree on a current limited battlefield. So the idea is not that, hey, we've lost, so we're all going to die, which often happened in this time period. Oh, very good. Well, second, taking it back. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yes, pike blocks. Well, to the best of my understanding, the phalanx was not able to form a square, a pike block square. I'm talking about a huge open, with facings in all four directions, huge open things. But they were not trained in the Landsknecht / Swiss pike blocks. And I think a lot of that has to do with the idea of the shield, because you got to remember the Landsknecht Swiss pike blocks do not use shields, and I think the shields lock them in too tight to be able to change facings like that. Okay, so it's not like, oh, who's up today and down tomorrow, but so a lot of times when you lost, you very well may either go into slavery, if you're the soldiers on the losing side, go into slavery, go into just be killed outright, and other bad outcomes. Where normally if you're a Macedonian pike unit and you survive the battle, you're probably going to get a job again, maybe working for the guy who just won. And everybody sort of knows this. Well, Ptolemy wants to do two things, and this is basically all of the Ptolemaic kings were all named Ptolemy, even changing it upon becoming king, because sometimes there's the second or third son that got different names but ended up there. He wanted to attract not just Macedonians but Greeks that know how to and are trained and drilled in the phalanx, which are different than the hoplites style, the hoplites. They wanted to attract them to come to Egypt, and two, he wants them to feel loyalty beyond either a paycheck or who's winning a particular battle, so they fight harder in the battle, If things just, because it's sort of like the idea that, hey, somebody has the upper hand, we'll switch sides because they're gonna probably win this kind of thing. He wants to go, hey, you're tied to the land here. If we lose, the new rulers aren't necessarily going to let you keep your land and that type of thing. So he's really trying to attract both more people and a loyal, maintain their loyal situation here. Okay. Well, we have had there's a big army here that I don't feel comfortable attacking with this. Has entered our land and taken its repulse. Okay, I'm not sure. I think they're going to take that. What we're going to do here, though, is let's see, come down to here, and these guys are going to come out to here. So they're going to get escorted by the fleet as they push there. Okay, this is desert, so it's open. Units 12. Which units 10? Okay, so they have more units, so we're going to push into there, which is important in the open thing. Hello, Lauren. How you doing? Okay, we're going to take a look at this battle. Now it's saying 12 to 12. Oh, damn. I guess they got their local little militia or something. Oh, this isn't going to go well. No, not well. Hopefully you can stalemate it. Buzz. We'll have another battle. Oh, they were defeating us. Damn. Okay, well. They pushed us back. Now I want to stress that this game interconnects with Field of Glory 2. It's sort of a dual front why we're not integrating. We're not integrating it for this playthrough. One, time. It just takes time to play those battles out, and two, a strong desire to show off that this is, a game with a lot of mechanics such as, legacy points and progress decadence and, how your stable form of governments. That kind of thing, much more than just simply a way to generate cool battles to fight. Which, I guess, from various feedback, a lot of people thought that that's about all that this sort of was going to be. But it is more than that. So we're not looking at that. I do think some of these battles, I think the AI can do quite a decent job fighting it, and in some ways does better than I do, especially with using particularly light horse. But I do think some of these battles I could do better if commanding, if we had the time. So I just want to keep that in mind for everybody. Okay, new population here. Still working on anchorage. Okay, good. So we have an anchorage. And we'll grab clean or clear water. Public works down here completed. Okay, so that gives us, no roads there, but we got, calling them roads, whether pathways or whatever. Helps movement. Okay. Yeah, infrastructure, money, bonus, food from fish. Great, we'll take that. Additional pops over in Tanis. Training ground has been completed out here. Well, I want to increase our manpower coming in, so we're going to do that. Hopefully this will still be available once we complete that. And okay, we held on to that. That is good. So now that we are here, they're going to move to there. And the army here is going to, well, move up to there. Maybe we won't. Well, no, we'll have them escort either way. We're gonna take some Pamphilian archers, provincial. Let's see. I think. Sorry, not used to that word. All right. So not so good results there, which means we're gonna send this army over to meet them. Oh, Soter, which means survivor. I guess you're gonna march out to there. Okay, so we're doing fair. It cost us a bunch of legacy points to get those reserves called up. No point even really building out there. Okay, well, we're doing pretty well with everything except really manpower. Out here, let's see. City wall, market, gambling, salt house. I like that health and food. I like the money, but I think we'll go with the salt house. Help cover some of our costs up here for dealing with all of the that'll get that done quicker. Now that we shuffled this, any better choices? Flax field. Okay, needs lumber, can be produces coal. Well, let's start with see if we can get coal. We're going to get population growth soon, which will expand our abilities to build more things there. And again, let's look. Open sludge. Okay, yeah, we'll go with wax shop. I'm reasonably satisfied with this. Okay, well. No battles this turn, it looks like. Our soldiers are starving. Lack of supply. Oh, here. Okay. That is not a good thing. Okay, well. They're not going to move there, and they're going to come back to here. What's their supply usage here? Not well. Okay, dump the culture. And these guys can retreat back to here. Clear water. Good. They have plenty of open slots. So we don't need to. Well, we got a lot of food. Yeah, we'll still go with the training ground. And here, okay, street parlor. We've got that now. Herbalist, more manpower, that's good. Crafter district. And I'm going to shuffle this one again. Training grounds completed down here, very good. Market, money, nice. Charcoal trading required, needs lumber. Yeah, I guess maybe. Public works down here. Our trails, tracks, armor. Ivory looks like the only thing that they could really use there. And we'll go with the extra manpower bonus here. And slave market. New decision available. Okay, use your slave markets to sell or buy slaves. Distribute them more equally within your nation. So we can buy slaves. We have money to do so. We can sell slaves if we want to get more. We can distribute them. Well, I don't think I need to do any of that right now. But that is available if we need it. Okay, now up here. They've got a big army up there, though. I don't know how, well, powerful enough, I guess. I'm going to get these guys and split them and send them as reinforcements to there. Now we're going to bring our navy here down into port down here, keeping this one as a blocking force for movement from there. Yeah, okay. It looks like most of our regions are either have no free slots or are actively increasing. Yeah, that's, I guess, it's part of our province there, but it's enemy held. Okay, we're going to end the turn again here. Alright, they're attacking again in the desert. We'll just, yeah, it's just another. Don't know why the AI is doing that. Especially as it looks like there's a few more units that if they were to send them together, they might have a better chance. And wait a turn or two. Okay, they're still, well, we've retreated back to here with these guys. No, they're not doing well either. Okay, but they should have food now. Okay, they have food now. These guys have food now, so food was an issue that hurt us. Okay, we got it. We need to move our navy up along with this and support and do better with food. Okay. Armies. Okay. Oh, good. Nabatea. Now, Nabatea was very much historically an ally of the Ptolemies. You also find the Jews were also a bit more inclined for the Ptolemies. They were sort of the capital in between the two capitals, a little bit later on from this period. It's just sort of starting now. Up here, basically, is the capital of the Seleucids. There's sort of, I guess, a secondary capital back in Babylon, wherever they're considering that. I'm not. Okay, here's the ziggurat, maybe. Babylonia. This is also sort of kind of a capital for the Seleucids. And so both up here as well as Alexandria get very large Jewish populations. And more or less, now, if you look at the Roman Empire, and a lot of people will, you know, take a map and color a large area red or whatever to stand for Rome. And, oh, that's Roman territory. Well, a lot of times, not really. They had effective control in a sense, but there were a lot of subject political organizations. Sometimes cities, like one I'm thinking of is like Tyre, which I guess is here, or is it here? Okay, that's Galilee. I'm not quite sure. Phoenicia, yeah, I guess that's probably considered Tyre. Sometimes we're looking at a particular sort of city-state, and other times we're looking at regions that very much internally are running themselves, may or may not overtly acknowledge that they're part of somebody else's empire, whether Rome or the Seleucids or the Ptolemies. You know, it's an interesting status. It's and it can vary. You know, each one can have its own unique setting. So it's, you know, I'm not saying that any one of these groups. Well, no, I would say some of these groups, they like this because the world isn't a peaceful place, and having some great power on your side that in many ways is leaving you alone is seen as a good thing. And so there, and I don't know all the details, again, I've been reading some about this. It was established under the Ptolemies because they sort of ruled this region. Again, some areas I would say directly within this region. Some areas are client states. Some areas are a bit more allied kind of situations, even inferior allies, shall we say. Yeah, thanks for following the channel. Do appreciate that. And so I would put, to some degree, the Jews in Judea as a client state. Something about they couldn't have a king in Jerusalem, but allowed them to have the temple and the religious establishment running entirely sort of independently. So overall, the Jews are rather happy with this situation considering with the Ptolemies. Wouldn't they want to be independent? Well, yeah, if they're independent, but then maybe the Nabateans or some of the, the Phoenicians that are along the coast, or whether it's the Seleucids or the Parthians or whoever's showing up later, they'll just come and gobble them up if they don't have, a client-state relationship with somebody else. Hello, Camistar. I'm doing well. Very good. I do like OOB. I think it's a good game. Okay, yes, good. They've relinquished control. I think that's happened particularly because this is one province here and we own the rest of it, and we are the dominant partner. So I want to look at here because we have no work being done. I either want work being done or have all the slots full or something. Okay, now here we have everything but dye to make this market work well. Salt houses up here, which will give us a lot more food so we can move some of the manpower away from food generation. Okay, we have 8 current buildings, 10 slots. Yeah, we can do that. New population down in Cyprus, good. Training ground out here, good, we've got that. Now here we do have dye. The purple, the seashells, I think they're talking, or not seashells, but the mollusks that, well, let's look, can we, trade, yeah. Oh, I'm forgetting the name of the purple that created the dye. It would be important there. Pottery trading required. Well, produces coal, which can already be imported, so I don't know that we need to do that. Yeah, we'll go with the market. Okay. Population. Population. Health of the ruler has gone down. Okay, Governor Hebe. Governor of Hebe. Okay, well. These guys are all weak, so we're gonna actually come back into here and hopefully get better health for our formations. Okay, we have this small, yeah, these guys merge with them. Okay, 66. They're going somewhere, probably not good for us wherever they're going. Let's see what we can do to, let's take a quick look. Okay, they got a lot of light horse. The archers, we could use some, I guess, regular infantry. We could do that, that would help out. We need to improve our army. We don't have enough manpower. Okay, well, we're going to be using up a lot, just replacing losses here and here, presumably. Okay. We received a progress token. Very good. That's a positive thing. Okay. Okay. Well, let's just go to this. Yep. Everything's working away. Just got to get that manpower problem sorted out. We'll skip that. Just going to be another unit coming in and dying. New decision, trade, increase trade or acumen or range. Okay. Can't be triggered now as some of the conditions. Merchants of our nation are bringing wealth in. Okay, so we might be able to expand trade at some point in the future. Charcoal pile. Okay. Okay, so we've used up all the slots until we get more population to grow that. Well, help the manpower out, so we're going to go with an herbalist. More manpower there, coastal market complete. And we'll go with an anchorage. Street parlor, very good. Okay, yeah, public works. Let's reduce this down to more infrastructure. I think we'll be okay. Both. With enough culture, get that down a little more. And we have plenty of money, so let's shift that down. Not that we can't always use more money, but money compared to other things, we're doing more than enough. Crafter district. These crafter districts are really helping us out. Okay, food's good. More charcoal piles, maybe more equipment. Yeah. Let's shift some manpower. Get that down by 1 turn. And out here, trading tent. I guess. Well, health. This gets us health and food, so we'll do that. Let's see if we shift this by 1. Well, it may still help a bit. Okay, well, we're getting our health back for our armies. We can see, okay, effectiveness. These guys are basically back. These guys aren't. You can see effectiveness 1/3, 1/3, 1/2, 1/2. So there, we took a bad hit. I didn't do well there. No, sir. Hello, Paul Winter. I don't know if you guys have any questions about the Hellenistic Age or the game. I would certainly give a try to answer it. Okay, we're not going to stay immobile here. We're going to see if we can take on this province here. What's up here? Forests. We also have, what is it? City walls. That's hills. These are plains. So, 3 units. We're gonna have some defenders. Yeah, I think hopefully we'll have a wider frontage. Frontage matters a lot with this. Okay, let's take a look at this battle here. Yeah, we're gonna greater frontage, higher quality troops. They're going to come in on the flank. Okay, so we took them down entirely. That's a positive outcome. For once, my generalship has worked. Oh, we fell 2 slots, but still we're in the top 20. So that means we're doing well. Okay, pop grows down here, which may, yes, gives us another slot. Palisades, major harbor, Preceptor's house, which will reduce decadence. Yeah, we're gonna go with the Palisades just because of the warlike nature. I feel that if we had Palisades, it would free up this unit to move more. And here, let's see, Herbalist, so that will help with the manpower, rebuild our manpower situation. Produces stone, which can already be imported. Produces fish, can already be imported from Delta, but it would be around here. Well, let's do fish. And anchorage is built out here. Hey, you can anchor there now. Ain't that great? Okay. Food is good. Yeah, we'll go with a ranch. More population. More population. Must be doing something right. Public works. Okay, so they're doing a lot to produce food and that. Gonna cost because we need to import the salt, I guess. Okay, well, we're gonna go with a stud. We're gonna reduce. That didn't help with that, did that? Now, herbalist, gain more manpower. Potter's shop. I think we could use pottery. So yeah, we got enough slots for the herbalist. Copper works. Well, we've got a lot of metal, but yeah, we'll go with that. That's a bit different. The public works campaign is paying off. Ceramic works. Okay. Money, culture, which is good. Bonus 7 money, 5 culture from gold, missing marble, which we have. Last die produces ceramics. Okay. Or ceramics as from one source. I don't know if any of you are old enough to get that. Joke. Okay, so they're already building us. What is it? Castrum? Okay, we don't need so much money, so what we're gonna do, more food and more into infrastructure repair. Let's see if we can get that into one turn. No. Okay, forest. I think we will march. Oh, we could use a turn to rest up here. Now, how are our land forces over here? Getting a little better. Building up our manpower. Well, I think we're going to merge. Cancel. I want to check out the... Yeah, he looks like the better general here. Oh, he's a coward. Siege penalty, entire stack. Oh, can we change this without... oh, I guess yes, okay. Yeah, no, I was wrong. He's a coward, so we're not going to use him. So, okay, that will help out. Still want to take down Cyrenaica. Ah, open slots, very good. And yes, herbalist, build up that manpower. Yeah, we'll wait a turn. Yeah, 3 progress tokens, so we're doing really well with this. Oh yeah, we'll watch the battle. See him get slaughtered. Oh, they got exhausted. All right. New population up here. Very good. Hey, thanks for being a subscriber. We really appreciate that. Wood cutting has been set up here in Cyprus. Again, Cyprus is a critical element in the Eastern Mediterranean at this time. Definitely, it's sort of the one sort of crown jewel that Ptolemy wants to maintain. He does lose it for a while, but gets it back. It produces copper, so it's a hugely important. Copper is, let's look at trade. Yes, copper. It produces copper. Manufactured, well, yeah, obviously you need to cut it down. It was also really good for producing particularly timber for building ships, which is generally long, straight pieces of wood for building ships. So it has that. Both of those things are incredibly important to this part of the world. Plus, of course, its strategic position being in this part of the Mediterranean. Now, also, which most games don't. I don't want to like, oh, this game is bad because... No, it's not that. But it's just sort of the scale in this game. Doesn't quite appreciate what is going on in Cyprus. We talked a little before about, you know, various client-state type arrangements. Well, Cyprus is far from a unified situation. There's Salamis, however you want to pronounce it, sort of right here. There are, most of the cities are coastal, though there's a couple that are internal to the region, and they're all basically some sort of city-state. So I would say, I don't know, 5 to 7, I'm sure it varies, different sort of states that are set up here in Cyprus. And they don't necessarily like each other, often at war with each other. And so they more or less recognize Ptolemy as leader, Ptolemy as ruling there in that sense, but they're their own entity. So it's not, you know, how do I put this? Sure, if Ptolemy, whether as king or as pharaoh, wants something particular done, they're probably going to do it. And if they refuse, Ptolemaic could, you know, kill off the leading citizens. But that can cause revolt and problems in the other city-states. So you can't really see this as a heavy-handed situation without causing a lot of trouble. And why cause trouble? So these people are, you know, there's a lot of governance of themselves. What does sort of, again, from some of the reading, they seem, one of the reasons they seem to like generally the Ptolemies, though some of the mid to late ones, they're getting a bit kooky and bad governorship. But especially the first two they like, is that when there's disputes, whether there's boundary disputes or other sort of disputes between this between these different groups and within cities, they're appealing to the authority of the Ptolemies to settle the problems. And they're doing this really well, and this is keeping them from going to war, going to violent conflict over these issues. Similarly, Crete. Now here we have two provinces, but Crete is, again, something like 5 to 7 different provinces, where Rhodes is sort of famously a single unified island and political setup. Okay, we have a hunter's lodge, which would reduce manpower. I don't want to do that. Food, health, warehouse, infrastructure from stone, missing lumber. Training ground, which is a free slot. We're running low on slots here. I think we'll go with the training ground just to be improving things. Market is complete out here. Garum shop, again, the fish sauce, the Roman fish sauce. I don't know, but I'm guessing because I've always heard it particularly produces olive oil. Needs olive oil, trading required. Well, let's go with an olive oil mill first, and then maybe a fish sauce. You pop down there, good. Public works over here, good. Okay, so we have public works. We're going to go with a shepherd's house, help with the food situation and moving our armies. Okay, they have basically no manpower for building or maintaining anything. We do have a stud, which is going to increase their food, so we're probably going to yeah, more food. Herbalist, which is helping our manpower considerably. I mean, all of them combined. Okay, we have 13 used, 19 available. Slots. Yeah, we could use food down here. Wax workshop, good. That will hopefully supply wax. I'm not sure exactly what's needed. Okay, spinning mill, cotton. Okay, costs us 2 infrastructure, but get 27 money. Bonus money from wool and flax. Needs cotton. Trading required. Produces cloth. Yeah, I don't see a downside to that at the moment, really. So we're going to come here, reduce that because we have that. Trying to get that to go a bit faster. Okay, just buy 1 for all of that. Tar workshop. Okay, very good. And we'll go with clear water. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of clear or clean water and roads. Just instinctually. Candle workshop. There we go. Needs wax. Trading required. Can be imported from Oxyrhynchus. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that, I'm sure. So yeah, we'll do this. That'll get us money. We're still missing tin. Let's see if we can increase the speed. Crafter district. This is both on the idea. We don't need another candle shop. And we'll take public works. And we will reduce that. Okay. Got enough food for a little bit, but we'll see if that improves. And Argo, bad health. Okay. Defensive. Determined defense. We're gonna keep Soder the coward out of. We'll move him there. Field of Glory, Legions triumphant. Very good, Paul Winter. Good option with that, I think. Okay, well. Do you guys have an idea of... Should I try to again march out to Cyrenaica with fleet support? Do I come down to try to crush Nubia? Or do we focus more on the Antigonids? Give you guys a minute to sound off about that. What should we do? Because they all sound like they have good, you know, crushing the big sort of enemy up here would be good in getting a lot of the land. Crushing Cyrenaica and getting some of this. Now, again, we have not gotten new ones because we have not filled. Our leadership wants us to take that. Our leadership wants to take these two, but these are friendlies, and so are these generally friendly, and we don't want to go into war with the Seleucids at this time. I guess we could come down here and get Eritrea. Owns this. That would fulfill some of that. No preference on which direction I should move the army. Now here, I think they're pretty weak, so we're going to march this way. Antigonids. Okay. Since you're the one that's speaking up, I guess we'll do that with. Okay, you guys come out to there, and the army. We'll see if we can bring down the Antigonids. You'll get to see, yeah. And then we'll move across here and we'll see if we can crush them in their capital. Okay. Alright, well, let's take a look at the battle. Oh, yeah. Even more than I thought. No units lost. Very good. So I see a bunch of guys up in the mountains there. Alright, so we are besieging them. Well, let's go through our regions. Okay, again, we're out of slots, but we got our Palisades, which will allow a little more flexibility. Fishery, very nice. It'll keep us in the food. Garum, yeah, we can maybe eventually even import it from ourselves. Cappadocia, what was Oh, the Castorum. Okay, yep, Crafter District. We'll take the free Salt House down here. Helps with health and food. Decadence reduction. Yeah, we'll go with that. And let's see about shifting some clear water. I guess back to roads now. Well, that improves the speed of that. Okay, so they moved their seat of power. They're going to escort, because you can bump into other units. They're going to come over here. They're going to fill that out. Now these, we're going to be a bit more proactive and move up into here. Put pressure on them. Now, here. Okay, siege will be quick, so we're going to besiege this instead of try to assault it. Their army, all urban militia types. Hopefully that will go fast. Starting now to build up manpower. You really have to watch your balances between money, which we're overdoing right now, culture, and metal and equipment. Okay, 13 units to 7. We can only outflank them by one province, or one square, but it looks like we have a better quality army, so let's... They're all exhausted, good. So hopefully cheap victories. Uh-oh, we got desert raiders out here. 2 units versus 2 units, though they've got more combat power. Yeah. I didn't expect really any better than that. Looks like they moved here, but fortunately we do have a palisade around the cities. The siege is over. The siege of Ancrea in Galatia. The Antigone is over, and we are victorious. So we've won that. Now let's continue. Garam shop, very good. We'll take a quick look at our Garam shop. Okay, we are importing from Bithynia, cost of 5. I don't know if it'll switch over to import from there, which hopefully the cost will no longer be a cost, but either way we are producing food, money overall as an improvement. Plenty of food. Let's do a brickwork, help our infrastructure out some. A little more balancing there. Well, there we go. More population up there. Nice. And I'm going to guess, well, let's deal with this now. Okay, so food we're doing excellent in. Sanitation would be good. City walls, I don't know if we need to go quite that far. Let's do sanitation. Wood cutting down here. Very good. All right. Oh, let's see. Preserve foods, money, extra health. Wheel makers, studs, large walls. Don't know if we need to go. Bank needs gold. Trading required. Decadence. How interesting. Noble district. Culture increases our decadence. Takes a lot to be built. Okay, so this is Alexandria. Well, I don't know why they're calling it Emerotis. I mean, there's probably a reason for it. I just don't know it. So it's confusing to me. Because my understanding from some of my reading, this was called Pharos in that I'm not going to remember it. The satrap that Alexander puts in charge of Egypt. This is why Ptolemy and all the other guys, are marching around, going to Afghanistan and whatnot. But the satrap that Alexander puts in charge of Egypt, one of his other companions, coming out of Macedonia, he's instructed to build Alexandria at Pharos. So this was sort of called Pharos, where eventually they put the lighthouse out there. So on the island. So that's, again, there's probably a good reason for this. I just don't know it and don't understand it. And I guess part of the I don't understand is we only have one before next population. Only one more thing. That doesn't mean we can't. Okay, we have Governor's Palace, King's Palace, Theater. Noble district, culture, gold, missing, luxuries, silk, decadence, increase. I'm gonna shuffle. That's a long time, but we're gonna shuffle. Okay, market has been completed out here. And I guess part of my understanding is, since everybody would immediately recognize it as, we're going to do this again because we're trying to build up manpower, as Alexandria. Okay, and public works. Yes, absolutely. They that is a Ptolemy thing, not okay. Like I say, Alexander is supposed to have, and I believe he did, actually sort of physically gone out and marked out, with like stakes in the ground and rope, but I don't know how long that stays there, where he wants Alexandria to be. He's that involved with it. He, okay. Again, I hope you guys like the history talks. The Persian kings, we'll call them that, have been ruling Egypt for a long time, a reasonably long time, meaning generations. I don't know if, it's not just like for a few years. It's longer than that. They've been ruling that. The Egyptians don't like them. And from what I understand, again from my readings, and some of the readings, some of the books I was reading are old, as in like the 1930s or something. So scholarship may have been improved from there. So if you really want a good history, look into some other stuff and do some reading yourself. But it seems to be thought that it wasn't from bad material situations, either too high of taxes or bad treatment of the locals, by being a tyrant. It was their lack of respect for the Egyptian religion, we'll call it that, because it's the gods, but it's more. It's the whole procession. Egypt, at its core, for all of its time, is a theocracy, and as Pixel, if I remember correctly, was God, king, or pharaoh, or whatever. They sort of take that seriously, that they're descended from Horus, the pharaohs are, and it's not just that they're king. There's the whole state is built and administered by the priests. So this is very much a theocracy, that there, yes, is, generally speaking, a pharaoh, a king, that type of person at the top. But it is a theocratical state, very much at its core. And you could say that to some degree, even, Athens with Athena and whatever. But it takes it to an extreme amount, at least for this time period and this greater region. It's very much of that. So the Egyptian complaints are more that the Persian, probably local satraps, but the overall Persian kings don't respect the Egyptian religion. When Alexander comes in, defeats the local satrap, the local Persian forces, whatever they may have been, I forget, he sort of liberates Egypt and immediately pays respect to the Egyptian gods. And this thrills the Egyptian people. And then he marches out to Siwa, the oasis out here, which is considered something of a, I don't know where exactly, what is considered Siwa out here. Somewhere out here would be Siwa, with a small element of his retinue. Actually, I think almost gets lost in the desert trying to come back and almost dies with a few of them. But goes out and visits Siwa and pays respect there. And this gets huge amounts of respect by the Egyptian people. So they're like, yeah, hey, great. There is, to my understanding, no clear successor of who would the pharaoh be. There isn't some royal family waiting in the wings to take over. So they need, by their cultural viewpoint, not every culture values democracy. So they need a head of their governance, their state, if you will. And Alexander is sort of thought to be not of so much, and then I wish I looked up some of the stuff before I start talking about it. Not so much maybe of a particular Egyptian god, but and if any of you guys know, strongman leader. Well, no, I'm not. No, we're. Oh. Sorry for that. Not so much a strongman leader. We can talk about the idea of a dictator versus a king. No, they want a legitimate focus. This is why they don't like the Persians, is because they don't feel a legitimacy. There's a strongman satrap ruling them, but they don't feel the legitimacy. They want a legitimate focus. Instead of a flag, like in the United States, that symbolizes our nation, I won't go into the politics, but in America, the flag is supposed to symbolize the nation, not the president. The president is just some guy that gets elected, okay? Whether you like him or not, he gets elected. The flag is sort of the symbol. Well, to the Egyptians, the person is the symbol. Sure, they've got all these neat, cool monuments around, but they believe in sort of a living God idea of at the point of their veneration. It's sort of their focal point of their religion. And since, even though Alexander is a foreigner, he is thought to have godly descent, and he's paid respects to their traditional gods. So this is something they can emotionally attach to. So this could just be all, could how much did Alexander think that he's descended of the gods? Well, he's doing tremendous things, so I could see his ego really booming up, and a lot of the Macedonians really start to go, hey, he's taking this god stuff seriously, and start to question it. But, or whether it's just sort of good propaganda that Alexander is putting out there. Either way, from his viewpoint. So even the dead Alexander was very important. Oh yes, absolutely. And I've talked a little bit about that in last week's thing, if you want to still go look at the VOD of that. And I may be posting it on my YouTube channel as well. So I'm just going to click